Hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS. Guys, today in this video we are going to talk about lot of things regarding your prelims 2023. Right? It is very crucial to have a strategy, okay, for your examination. Lot of students, lot of us, we make one mistake. What is that? We keep on reading and we don't actually understand the pattern of examination, nor do we make efforts to do it. So in this video, we are going to talk about a lot of things which is going to change the direction of your preparation and which will also help you achieve your target. So we will take one issue at a time and we will talk about a lot of things today. So stay tuned with me till the end of this video. But before we start, I want to tell all of you one very important thing for your examination as well as for your life. This is one of the most famous sayings which really is very effective for any competitive exams. What does it say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So guys, have you made your plan? What are you planning for? Right? If you want to build any building or infrastructure or anything, you have to first put it on paper. You need to have your own strategy. There cannot be one strategy for every aspirant. Why? Because every aspirant has different weaknesses, different strengths, different intellectual capability, different background. Lot of things are different. Some aspirants are full-time aspirants, some are working full-time, working part-time, some comes from science background, etc. So here one very important thing is we need to plan for our examination. You need to have it all charted in your mind, how you're going to approach every subject, how you're going to revise every subject, how much time are you going to give to each topic, each subject, which day what are you going to study, how many tests you should take before going to the real examination, and a lot more. Okay, we will also discuss a few of the common mistakes that are made by aspirants. So let's get started. First of all, you all have to know how many days are left for your examination. So as of today, if I count, there are 75 days left. So tell me one thing, do you have a complete plan for these 75 days? If not 75, do you have things planned at least for 2 weeks? If no, then this is very serious. You need to sit down, half an hour, slow down and make this plan. Okay. Now, I'm not just going to talk to you here and ask you to do things. Rather, at Sunya IAS, our role is to enhance your preparation, help you plan and handhold you at every stage. So let us understand how do we plan these 75 days. Okay, from a bird eye view we are going to talk today. We will be doing a detailed discussion in the upcoming videos, but let us have some sort of understanding on how are we going to plan this 75 days. So one approach would be students would divide 9 or 10 subjects into divide by 75 and they would give equal time to every subject. That's a very incorrect strategy. So what are we doing? To plan for anything, you have to understand the dynamics of the examination or whatsoever it is in your life. So right now we will talk about prelims 2023. So to understand how much time you need to dedicate for each subject, you need to look at the previous year question paper and the breakup of or the weightage of every subject. Okay, so let's look at the 2021 paper pattern first. As you can see, maximum number of questions came from economics, environment and polity. Okay, then comes current affairs, science and tech, geography. Now science and tech, most of the questions are current affairs based. So I can say current affairs plays a very important role. So let's sum up what I'm trying to say. If you master economics, polity, environment and current affairs, and if you perform better in these 4 aspects, you will be faring quite well in your examination. What about rest of the subjects? Rest of the subjects you have to do as good as others are doing. And in these 4, you have to do better than what others are doing. Now let's look at 2022 paper. Environment 17%, economics 17%, polity 13%, current affairs 11%, science and tech 14%, which are mostly current affairs based questions. So here we can understand one sort of a pattern that if we master these 4 subjects and perform well, then we can very easily crack the examination. So what are we going to do? So when you sit to plan your 75 days, more weightage needs to be given to these 4 subjects. We are not ignoring the other subjects at all, not at all, but we are giving more importance, more weightage to the subjects which has higher weightage in the examination. Okay, this is something called cost benefit ratio. What do you mean by cost benefit ratio? Say for example, I am reading modern history for 100 hours and I am reading environment or polity or economics for 100 hours. So the number of marks I would be gaining from reading these 3 subjects will be higher than reading this subject for 100 hours. So I have just given you a cue about how to plan your 75 days. Okay, we will talk about how many times is revision necessary or required. We will also talk about how many tests to take, or in a bird eye view manner today. We will be coming up with detailed videos on every single aspect of your preparation. So let's get going. So now here these are the subjects. So devise a plan and plan accordingly. Okay, and planning is important, but what is more important? Execution of that plan. Unless and until you don't execute your plans that you have drawn, it is going to be difficult. Okay, now what should be done? Okay, we spoke about the weightage, the pattern, etc from a bird eye view. Now a lot of students are confused and they keep on asking, how many times do we need to revise? You would have read everything once or twice by now, and now from today I would say 2 to 3 revisions of every subject are sufficient. Now when I say revision, what do I mean? Okay, for your reading, one thing is very important. You have to freeze your resources. What are we doing? Freezing the resources. You are fixing the resources. You are not changing your resources at all, because a lot of time it happens that you're reading in a library or at your place and one of your friend comes in and says that, oh my god, did you see these new notes? They are so good. So you would think of changing your reading from one thing to another. So I would say that is a big no. We are not changing our sources. We are going to do multiple revisions of the same resource. Now when I say multiple revisions, how is it beneficial? Scientifically it is proved that revisiting the same information makes our mind remember it very easily. So there will be lesser chances of not being able to understand or process that information. Okay, now freezing the sources, reading the same thing. It is also said that when you read the same source for 5 to 6 times, you develop some sort of a pictographic memory, that even if you cannot recall, you might have an idea that what is the correct answer or what you should tick. Okay, so pictographic memory. And before freezing the sources, we have to understand one thing, that these sources should be able to solve around 80% of your questions of last 8 years papers, if not 5 years papers. Why do I say 5 years papers? Because if I talk about the mode of examination in 2015 or 16, I have seen, rather at Sunya, we have seen an evolving pattern. the quality of the paper, the pattern of the paper, the trends of the paper are not the same. So UPSC is one examination that keeps on evolving. That is why I got you, the bifurcation of subjects, the weightage of subjects of last 2 years, so that we can plan effectively. So we have to refer the standard sources. Now here I would want to mention one thing, one mistake that every aspirant makes, okay? Not every, I would say 99%. Okay, now what is that mistake? You look at previous year questions. Okay, let's take for example ancient history. 80% of ancient history questions can be solved using NCERTs. But there is one question that is asked from Romila Thapar ma'am's book. So what will we do? We will not give much importance to this. We will think that this is more important. But guys, understand one thing. You need to secure 100+ marks to clear the examination, qualify for the examination, cross the cutoff. You don't need to score 100. You have to score what is required. So please ensure that your sources are covering 80% of the questions. Okay, this is one thing I wanted to say. Now, after revising or with revising, there is one thing which is very important. What is it? How many mock tests should we take? How many mock tests should we take? And what is the importance of PYQ? Okay, so guys, let me tell you one thing. PYQs is one of the most important parameters of your preparation. You can also call it a guiding light. If you have done a thorough study of the PYQs, then there are very high chances that you will qualify, because a certain percentage, okay, a certain percentage of questions or content from the options that UPSC has given come as repeated themes. The questions are not repeated, mind you guys, the themes are repeated. If I talk about themes being repeated, say for example, if I talk about science and tech here, then the 3-parent baby, okay, or the biotech part has seen to be repeated every now and then, right? Also, so this is one thing. So everyone watching the video, I would really request all of you to download the PYQs from the UPSC website or from our website and go through it thoroughly. Even look at the options, try to understand and study what is given in the options, because themes are repeated. Around 15 to 20% themes are repeated. Now, how many mock tests should we take? This is also very important for all of you to understand. There are certain aspirants, certain students of ours who take one full-length test every day, okay, which is a bit too much according to me. Now, when I talk about mock tests, let us bifurcate these into two parts. The first being sectional and the another being full length. So if I talk about full length tests, 10 to 15 full length tests are more than enough. But you're not just, attempting them, looking at the score and letting it go. No, you will have to understand and analyze why you are not able to, get more marks, or what is going wrong, how can you improve. Now here, to do this analysis, there are two ways. Either you can do it yourself, DIY, or you can take help of a mentor. Right, some of us are fortunate to have some of our friends or relatives, who have already cleared and they're willing to guide us. But if you don't have such sort of guidance, at Sunya IAS, we also have certain programs which offer you guidance for the complete examination. So if you have a mentor, it's well and good. If you can find it on your own, it is well and good. But otherwise, having a mentor for the examination is very important. And now let's come to the sectional test. I would say with everything that you're revising, the next day or the day after, try to take a sectional test. So if, for example, I'm reading polity today, okay, so maybe tomorrow or day after, I can take a mock test of only polity questions and try to analyze what is going against me. Why am I not able to pick some answers correctly? Okay, very important, very, very, very important. Once you analyze the results of your tests, the reasons for not scoring more marks, you will start learning. In the examination, in the real UPSC examination, it is not about recalling information or how much powerful memory you have. It is humanly impossible to remember everything. It is about processing of that concept that you have learned and application of the same, right? So this will help you understand how you need to process the information and apply it on various MCQs. So please give some sectional tests, and don't give 40-50 full length mock test and don't analyze it. I would say 10 to 15 are good enough, but you have to analyze that, analyze it subject wise. What questions, what subject you are good at, what subject you are weak at. In a subject, there will be certain topics which you're not getting correct. Also, the questions which turn out incorrect, try to understand why did you tick the incorrect option. Why could you not think that this could be the answer? And there is one good saying: strengthen your strengths, weaken your weaknesses. So once you do these two things, you will get a better direction on how to utilize the last 75 days. Now, what is the importance of current affairs and how much important is your static? So this can be bifurcated subject wise. Okay, this should be bifurcated subject wise. Say for example, ancient, medieval, modern. 90 to 95% questions are static. Art and culture, again the same thing, but last year we saw a little change in the trend. 2 questions on the new statue erected and the Somnath temple, which were in news, were asked. Okay, so for tackling these 2 subjects, what you have to do, stick to your basic NCERTs or your standard resources and supplement it with relevant information. Say for example, this year, on 26th January, the Padma Awards were distributed. And in the G20 summit also, Shri Narendra Modi ji gifted a specific shawl to the leaders who were invited. So try to find out what was the name of the shawl, where does it belong to, what's the speciality, does it have a GI tag, who's the artisan who's been awarded for making that shawl. That might turn up. Okay, so this is about it. Polity. Most of the questions are static. 30 to 40%, 30 to 20%, I would say, being linked to current affairs. Economics, I would say it's a 50-50 thing. Environment, also a lot of things from current affairs are asked blended with the basic concepts. Environment, lot of current affairs are being asked. Science and tech is almost completely current based. So don't just blindly follow current affairs, or don't just blindly follow static things. Try to understand every subject is dealt with in a different way, and you will understand all these things when you do a detailed study of your PYQs. It is very important, guys. Now, what it takes, we're nearing the end of the video now, what it takes to clear your prelims. The first and the foremost thing is determination. Okay, now here I am going to talk about your mental health also. Okay, you have to stay in a positive frame of mind. That will only happen if you plan your days properly. It will give you some amount of comfort. If you're unable to complete the target, try to complete it the next day or the next day. Try to give a certain number of tests. Try to do whatever is possible. Okay, and these 75 days, I would say that you have to work on one concept. What is that? Whatever it takes. Okay, that should be your line. Whatever it takes to complete my syllabus, to revise my syllabus, I will do it. If you are not getting time during the day, wake up at 4 a.m. and start reading. So by the time it's 10, you are, 10 a.m., you have done your 6 hours of study very comfortably. So you will have to devise your study plan, your strategy, and that will only come through determination. Okay, otherwise we're all good at procrastination. I would say very good at procrastination. Now, dedication. Revising the same thing over and over again will take certain amount of dedication. Direction, PYQs, analysis of your mocks, and mentorship. These are very important to keep your preparation on track. So please understand your state of mind, your dedication, your direction is going to determine whether you clear prelims 2023 or not. Okay, and if you're feeling bored or something, or if you're not feeling great about reading, just think of the feeling that the prelims results are out and you have qualified. That feeling will help you read more and will boost up your confidence. Okay, now again we are ending the video with the same line that we started with, which is very important. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So what are we going to do? We are not going to fail to plan. We are going to plan our 75 days very neatly, very properly, strategize everything, and then go and give the final exam so that we have a higher probability of clearing it. Okay guys, so this is it from our end. We will be back with lot of planning and strategy videos which will be of great help to you to align your preparation with your goals. Thank you very much guys.